weekend, this past weekend, felt right. I think I touched on it after Saturday night, just all weekend, and credit our student section. I don't know who's behind that, but they've been great. A lot of Saturdays and all weekend, and to have a COVID sellout on Saturday night. Talking to Jeff and the old Hoosiers, where they're putting up signs on the doors, nobody else allowed in. It was pretty cool, pretty special. Obviously disappointed in Friday's result. I touched on it. I thought South Dakota State was the better team for 21 minutes, and you can't play 19 minutes and expect to win, especially against a good team. Meaning that we didn't show up with the sense of urgency we needed to start the first half, and that carried over. Tyree made some heroic buckets at the end of the first half to kind of make it a game. And then, to Jory's point too, when you're playing good teams, we made two just really bonehead, undisciplined mistakes defensively down the stretch in that game, and they cost us 5 points, and that ended up being the game and not being able to get in a shot off. That was disappointing. We're pleased with the way our guys responded on Saturday. The result was a little bit closer than we would have expected or wanted. But I've touched on it before. This is a lot like Matt's talking about, a lot like Jory's talking about. In a different sense, there's still plenty of inexperience on this group, and the only way you gain experience is by going through experiences. And as crazy as it sounds, there's just different situations against really good teams that we're still working through at this time of year. And I know we'll be better for it. This weekend, last 36 to 48 hours have been a little bit interesting, whether we're going to play or whether we're not going to play. But obviously really excited to play and to have the opportunity that we're going to have to play. It's a really good team. Coach Lee's done a tremendous job of putting this group in a position to compete for a conference championship along with us this weekend. A.J. Plitza-White and Stanley Amude are, at the top of the league when it comes to individual players. But I think now what's separating them since the last time we've seen them in December is, the Fullers, the Road Hunts, and guys like that have really stepped up their game and made them harder to guard and space the floor even better for AJ and Stanley. So we'll have our hands full, but I know just with the news today and the uncertainty the last 36 to 48 hours, our guys are going to be pumped.
Was the emotion like, did you have a chance to kind of go back and forth with your players? It has to be just a tremendous amount of relief that this opportunity wasn't taken away.
Yeah, selfishly, hopefully I can sleep more than 46 minutes than I did last night. I think that the worst part is the uncertainty, not knowing if you're in, if you're out. But I communicated with our captains a little bit on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, just to, so they could address the rest of the group. And then we were off yesterday, just, not playing until Saturday. Thought it was important to keep our guys' legs and minds right. And so we're going to get together here in about a half an hour. That's the first time I'll see them. But this day and age with social media and communication, I'm sure they were on top of it. And by the group thread that we had going on, they're excited as well as I am.
Tenuous, at least to your knowledge, was it that it may not happen?
Any time that, again, I'm basing it on as much as you guys know and what they posted on their website. Anytime there was, from my understanding, a positive test at one point that just need to be confirmed, right, it's very tenuous. You think at that point that you're not playing. But what we've learned in the last, just short of a year is there's false positives, there's all kinds of uncertainties. And, glad everybody's going to be healthy and safe, first and foremost. And, right below that, just really glad for the opportunity we're going to have this weekend.
The Dakota Showcase seems like it's 1,000 years ago. We kind of talked about this with SDSU. How much does your game against South Dakota factor into the prep this week?
You're going to go back and watch it, Ross, for the right reasons and for some specific game plan things that they might have done with us. But they're a completely different team as are we. So you can't read too much into that as much as you'd like to. There were and I heard Todd say it after that tournament, two teams that were still finding themselves at that point of the year. And you can see the growth and development in both programs.
Your attitude changed from November, just wanting to play games, to now here it is, a chance to win the Summit League championship. Does it feel like it's a normal late February now?
I always got a positive attitude now. I'm always excited. Yeah, it really does. I can really sense it coming back. We needed, I've said this time and time again, we really needed the bye after ORU for a lot of reasons. And just coming out of that and being around our guys and knowing the place that they're in and the opportunities that are in front of us, it feels like February. It really does. And, when we were 0-5, 0-6, and after we got beat by South Dakota State in December, I remember Tim Miles texting me. He said March matters, and I wrote that down and I put we need to make March matter. And our guys have really done a terrific job over the last 2-3 months of putting our position to make late February March matter.
You seen the relationship with Rocky Cruiser and Grant Nelson? Is that like a big brother, little brother type of relationship that's going on within the program this year?
Yeah, I just told Grant real early on, probably in a polite, positive way that I am. I said, you grab a hold of that young man and you listen to every single word that he says, and that's the that's the beauty of Grant. I mean, we all see the talent, the upside, the potential, and you're seeing results with that now. But he is a hungry, humble young man that wants to keep getting better, and he's got a great ally. He's got a great friend. He's got a great big brother in Rocky Cruiser, because Rocky Cruiser will go down as a guy that just reflects everything that I want to be about, and we talk about leaving a legacy, and Rocky's going to do that in his own right with not just for Grant, for all of us, but in particular with Grant and his situation.
And being 0-5, 0-6, you do have the chance to compete for a championship. Maybe with that week off, have a little time to reflect. Was there a game or a moment where you kind of can go back and say, okay, this is when I figured out that we're going to have a chance to be where we are now?
I know this sounds crazy, Ross, but no, and I mean that by and you can see different teams in the league kind of really gaining steam. I think Western Illinois is playing significantly better than when we played them. UMKC is won 5 in a row. So there's still a lot of UND's figured some things out when they had some different personnel, and they've won 3 of 4, something like that. And I knew going into this past weekend that we were going to play the number 1 and number 2 teams coming down the stretch, and so we were still going to find out a lot about ourselves. And there hasn't been that aha moment. There's been the lows of a Denver on Friday compared to a Denver on Saturday. There's been all those through the things, but there's also been tremendous leadership between those three, Tyrese, Sam, and Rocky, that have put us in a great position. And after going through last weekend, I think it's proved to our guys, if it wasn't before, that we belong. And they've done a tremendous job in a year with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of not normalcy, if that's a phrase, to put us in a terrific position here this weekend.